my classmate, no matter what you have gone through over the years, we've walked together, and that is the most unforgettable piece of memory that I had over the years. So we have to consolidate our own strengths before we could succeed in our endeavors and defy the odds. And this is the spirit that we must have here. And thank you to my teachers for passing us knowledge and wisdom and those kind contributions. So we have the bravery to defy the odds and challenges lying ahead. So, driven by our spirit and immersed in this sense of responsibility, you have gone through a couple of years here at PKU. You represent the hope of this country going forward. And after today, you will be going into the society to embrace a larger sky. Dear students, we have just gone through an extraordinary period. I hope that you have gained your experience. You are going to leave school and set your foot on the society, but no matter where you are, remember that this is your home of spirit. Thank you, PKUHSC, because of your inspiration in terms of responsibility and spirit. We will be following your footprints and step on a journey of medical endeavor that belongs to our generation. The path lying ahead may be arduous, but I will never forget where I started. I will take up the responsibility and contribute to the society. So when everything is peaceful and stable, I will just be focusing on my own job and position. But when there is a call from the society, I will be taking the front line. Each and every one of us could become warriors fighting in the front line. I graduate today and I contribute to the society tomorrow. Dear teachers, dear students, good morning. The year of 2020 will be remembered by history. The world is hit by a coronavirus pandemic, and up until this moment, more than 10 million people have been infected. But we dared to defy the odds and take the challenge. And this is exactly the theme of today's graduation ceremony. In light of the ongoing epidemic in Beijing, and in order to protect your health and safety, and also to spread our image and voice to a larger audience so that more people can witness this moment. So we are also hosting this ceremony on the cloud. Today we have 26 viewing points in the campus, and we are broadcast live on multiple channels and platforms. And we do not design the process of granting your graduation certificate, but those graduates, they can come back at any year to take your certificate. And now I would like to announce the opening of today's graduation ceremony. May I ask all of you to stand up and turn left. Now we hoist the national flags and sing the national anthem. Please be seated. Now allow me to introduce to you the distinguished faculty members with us. Executive Vice President and Director of PKUHSC Zhang Ximin. Executive Deputy Party Secretary of PKU and Party Secretary of PKUHSC Liu Yuchun. Executive Vice Director of PKUHSC and Academician of the Chinese Academy of Engineering, Tao Jie. Executive Vice Director of HSC, Tao Xudong. And Bao Hairong, Executive Deputy Director of HSC, Wang Weimin, and Mr. Xiao Yuan and Liu Xiaoguang. Zhang Ning, Executive Vice Party Secretary of PKUHSC, Fu Shumei. Vice Party Secretary and Director of the Publicity Department, Zhang Xiumei, and Ban Chunmei, Deputy Director of HSC, and Wu Mi. Today at this ceremony, we have also invited representatives of the medical assistance team to Wuhan, and we are being watched by thousands of alumni on the cloud. And let me once again express my sincere gratitude and big thanks to all those who are participating in this ceremony here on site and those online. The COVID-19 is still spreading in the world. We're still fighting with this invisible killer, and at these special times, we have 2004 graduates who are going to leave the campus today and who are going to take the battle at the front line. So today we are not wearing the graduation suits, and we are wearing these white suits because we are ready to take the challenge at any time. May I now give the floor to Liu Yuchun, who is the Party Secretary of PKUHSC. Dear graduates, teachers, and friends, and viewers online, today we are hosting this on the cloud event to celebrate the graduation of the class of 2020. First, congratulations on coming to this point and on being ready to take a new start. In the year of 2020, we have 2,004 graduates, and 284 of them have been given the title of excellent graduates. 87 graduates have been recognized as excellent graduates in the Beijing municipality. You are at a time of extraordinary endeavor, and from these years of graduates, I can feel that your spirits are up to the standards, and I feel more than proud to be your dean and your party secretary of the department. Today we have doctors who have 8 years of experience, and we have Deng Wei. And when the epidemic broke out, and he and his teachers took to the Frontline, and we also have an excellent graduate who comes from the 2017 class from the oncology department, Yang Yanqi. He has published 8 articles that has been included in the journal of SCI. And we also have student scholars from the School of Medicine and Drugs, Chang Xuezhi and Wei Wei. During his tenure as the party secretary of the Students' Party Committee, he organized events to demonstrate the patriotism of students in PKU. He also led the team and won the title of demonstration sites for party building across all universities in China. We have graduates from the undergraduates class, Liu Changjian. He went to the army in 2017, and he was also heavily engaged in the poverty alleviation efforts in China's southwest. After returning to the campus, he participated in the 2019 celebration of the founding of the People's Republic of China. That is his gift to the birthday of the country. We have volunteers from School of Public Health, Dong Yanhui, who was selected by the China CDC, and he's helping government officials analyzing those medical data. And for 90 consecutive days, she fought at the front line. We have many graduates just like those I have just mentioned, and they are ready to go to the society and dedicate their spirit and contribution to the general public. We have more than 200 students who are ready to go to the grassroots to serve the society. Dear students, those I have mentioned names of, they're just one portion of this great, excellent entity. The COVID-19 pandemic is a cruel challenge for all of us, but this represents an opportunity for all of us. I think we have learned not just medical skills, but also gone through a period that trained our responsibility. The PKUHSC calls for all the students to learn from those that I have mentioned names as examples, so that you can engage in endeavors, consolidate your strengths, and become doctors that serve the nation and serve the general public with your vision and with your wisdom. I hope that you can become skilled, qualified practitioners in the field of medicine. I hope that the class of 2020 can work together with those who are still studying here in the campus, and to go to places where you are needed the most, so that you can benefit the community that you live in and implement what President Xi Jinping has said in his letter that he returned to students from our department, that we can continue to grow in a process of serving the people and train our spirits through our work and gain our skills while define the challenges. Only through this can we demonstrate our skills and responsibilities at places where we are needed the most. Thank you very much, Party Secretary Liu. So with our own efforts of 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, and even 8 years, we have made a dent on our life journey and left a footprint on our journey going forward. So once again, congratulations. A couple of years ago, you came to this campus of Peking University. So you became a member of PKUHSC. It was here that you made your promises and left your vows, and right now you're ready to leave the campus. And there's a lot of emotions going on, and now may I give the floor to a student representative, Ju Jiabao. Ju Jiabao, during his years at the PKUHSC, he has participated in a lot of medical researches and published a lot of articles on many journals, and he was recognized as an excellent student in PKU, and after graduation, he will be serving at the People's Hospital that is affiliated to PKU. Now let's give the floor to Ju Jiabao. Dear teachers, dear classmates, dear parents, good morning. My name is Ju Jiabao. I'm from the 8-year medical department affiliated to PKU. Now, no matter where you are watching this, in a dormitory, on a campus, or in front of a screen, we are jointly gathered here at this graduation ceremony. The year 2020 is deemed to be extraordinary. It's a year when the COVID-19 pandemic is spreading all over the world, and we united our classmates in a fight against COVID-19. And we are also at a turning point of this year. We are leaving the campus and going to the society. We are maturing, and we are practicing what we have learned over the years. There's a lot of pities. The pity is that we cannot dress on the graduation uniform. We cannot take photos together in the campus. And it's a pity that we cannot join those frontline soldiers fighting the battle. So there's a lot of pities, but we have gained our understanding of medicine. I was working on my post while we fought for the COVID-19, and I received a lot of medical instructions, and my help and my assistance to the patients can help them calm down. And I was wearing this PPE, helping bone fractures and relieve their pains, and I felt how difficult it was to do your job under PPE. And at those drips and jabs, all those memories, I have learned a great deal of skills, and I have been here for 8 years, and I studied from a volleyball player. I went to the labs and become a researcher, and I took to the post of surgery, and I won the scholarship, and I became the Student of the Year in the PKUHSC. So no matter if you're talking about innovation or spirit or the response to COVID-19, I'm deeply impressed by what this university represents. I want to thank the PKU for training me to become who I am today. The pandemic will one day end, students who graduate today must be filled with hope when we take the journey going forward. In a letter that he returned to students of our department, President Xi Jinping said that the young students, they have to mature in a process of serving the society, and they have to train their skills and practice what they have learned in campus. So it's with this spirit that we are going to march ahead. And finally, I would like to wish health, success of all the faculties and all the students. I hope that each and every one of you can become successful after graduation. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your persistence and perseverance, and thank you for leaving this spirit of vitality in the campus, and we are more than proud of all of you. The year 2020 is an extraordinary, and when there is a call, we take the call. In front of the COVID-19, we dared to defy the challenge and take the task. We rushed to the front line, no matter it is in winter or in summer. And now it's in summer, and we once again took the front line in defending the safety and stability of the capital city of Beijing. And now let's have a recap of those stories. Now may I invite you to watch a video clip. PKUHSC, with a history of 100 years, it goes hand in hand with the destiny with this nation. From the very beginning, after the founding of the People's Republic, to our involvement in a Korean War, and to SARS, to relieving the people suffering from the earthquake, generations of graduates from PKUHSC, we answered the call of the society and took the challenge given to us. 4,000 people from our campus volunteered to take the challenge, and more than 400 of them went to the front line. So we saw once again the spirit of our students who dared to take the challenge, and we once again witnessed this great sense of responsibility. A new coronavirus epidemic broke out in Wuhan. Party Secretary, Chairman of the country, President Xi Jinping, made an important request. The national rescue team will fly to Beijing from here. Now is the time for you to make a contribution to the nation, to the society. I would like to express my sincere respect for all of you. Take a rest, we'll go home, and let's fight on. I volunteer to become a member of the Communist Party of China. Party Secretary and Chairman of the Chinese Military Commission and the President of the country, Xi Jinping, returned a letter to all the young students in PKUHSC, expressing his gratitude to those who have participated in the fight against COVID-19 on the front line. With my shoulders, I have taken the responsibility. The designated hospital for COVID-19 has been officially closed. We overcome the risks and took the challenge, and we have garnered the accolades. Dear faculty members, dear students, good morning. I'm the head of the PKU Medical Assistance Team to Wuhan. I was brought back to the memories that I had when I was fighting the coronavirus pandemic for 66 days in Hubei. The video clip reminds me of my working memories on the front line. I had a lot of sentiment and emotions going on at the beginning of the year 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic hit the society, and at the clinic fever department, it was filled with a lot of patients. And then the National Health Commission made the decision to send medical rescue teams to Hubei, and we immediately formed a medical assistance team of hundreds of people. And we dispatched this team to Wuhan. When we arrived there, bear in mind this is a city with more than 10 million people, and it was like a pause button pressed, and it has lost its vitality, and you can see nobody on the street. And this gives you a lot of pressure, but it makes you feel more vividly the responsibility that you shoulder. We didn't take a rest, and we immediately transformed the hospital into a special hospital for COVID-19. We had a race with time, and we launched a full-fledged war against COVID-19. And when we were working there on the posts, we demonstrated our skills and our spirit and our responsibility. We built a exemplary department and clinic room fighting infectious diseases. And we embraced standardized treatment, and wherever there is no conditions, we create those conditions. We were working at the Tongji Hospital of Wuhan, amongst all the designated hospitals, and it has broken a couple of records. Our hospital received the most patients with severe and critical conditions. We were the fastest in admitting patients. We had the most difficulties, but our medical rescue team managed to reduce the fatality rate, and we have delivered a very good result. As a member of the PKUHSC, we felt the support from around the country and in the world. We received a lot of letters, and those are the motivation. That's why we stuck to the very end. Our students from PKUHSC, they have fully demonstrated these great spirits that they inherited from our founders hundreds of years ago. At the Huashishan Hospital, I remember the recognition given to us by President Xi Jinping and the gratitude he expressed to all the medical staff. That was at a time that when we were there for 1 month, and we were more than encouraged and inspired by President Xi Jinping's words, and we vowed not to leave the post until the last patient is cured. It was at these special times that one of our alumni, Wu Chao, wrote a letter to President Xi Jinping. He told President Xi Jinping that we were not afraid of those difficulties and hardships, and we will definitely maintain unopposed, stay unopposed until the last minute. So he did exactly that. And he passed this spirit to those patients at the medical ward. At the medical ward, when we see these patients giving us thumbs, and when we heard that they say, when the young people are strong, this nation is strong. So it was at those moments that I feel that we are laying the very foundation of this republic. After we returned to Beijing, we managed to both engage in epidemic control and the resumption of our practitioner work. And our hospital was reopened within only 3 days, and all the students were working unopposed around the clock. And we met the demand of the public, and you can see a lot of people working at the front line. And on June the 11th, there was a new case, and on June the 13th, the cluster infection became very obvious, and we immediately engaged in the battle once again, and we have dramatically improved the capacity of NAT, and we followed the principle and spirits of leaving no one unattended. And a great batch of PPE went to the front line, and even though we are soaking with our sweat within the PPE, and even though we have a lot of prints left from those facial masks, we remain optimistic. No matter in Beijing or in Wuhan, we appeared on the front line at the moments when we are needed the most. No matter it is in hospitals or on a street side or at the test site, we never retreated from our responsibilities. Each and every one of us are working unopposed. We're protecting the safety of families and this country. In this important fight against the COVID-19, the young graduates and young students from PKUHSC, they have demonstrated this great spirit of bravery, maturity, and responsibility. So the world can believe that this young generation is one with hopes, with skills, and with responsibilities, and we can take the task entrusted on our shoulders going forward. Virus has been developing along the evolution of human beings, and some people even say that because of the COVID-19 2020 will be remembered by history. And this is a pandemic hitting the world when we are in a process of globalization. The challenge it's brought is unprecedented, and Li Dazhao, the founder of PKU, once said that the greatest challenges are not lying in front of us, and it's around us. The challenges do not exist in the past. And it's in the present. In the next 10 years, we're going to witness greater development of medicine. I believe that the experience we got from COVID-19 will be unforgettable and it will benefit us in this whole lifetime. The world belongs to all of you. I'm going to tell you a story, and the main part of this story is played by one of us. When a message came about Wuhan, she volunteered to become a member fighting on the front line. Her mother-in-law lost her life 17 years ago during the SARS epidemic.
单凭勇气和无畏是不能赢得抗疫胜利的。面对传染性极强的新冠病毒，42000名医务工作者实现了零感染，大家都认为这是一个奇迹。可我说，这源于4万多人一起认认真真地遵守了感控的各项流程，是一次次简单动作的反复重复。就拿洗手举例，从污染区进入清洁区，逐层脱掉防护措施的每一个步骤。
Washing your hands, and you have to go through the contamination area and to the safety area, and you have to take off your PPE, and it takes 3 hand washes when you walk out of the contamination area. So that is to say that each and every day you have to wash your hands for more than 1,000 times. And if it's 60 days, and that is more than 30 minutes of hand washes. And that alone is more than 100 million minutes. And if you are not careful, and you will get infected. So it is with this spirit that we repeat millions of times, and that is how we created a miracle. And now I want to talk a little bit about trust and teamwork. And it's not enough that we do our jobs well, and after the rescue fight in Wuhan, our students have become closer to one another because we have gone through the same experience. And we cannot identify the loopholes, and we have to stand on each other's back and watch out for one another. And because the life and safety of our team members are sometimes within our hands, so we have to give sufficient trust to one another. So Wuhan, when we were fighting the battle in Wuhan, within 2 months we received a lot of support, and we felt it was just like working at home. And each time we see this, we are touched and we shed our tears. And I believe that this profession is not just for ourselves, and it belongs to each and everyone in the society. And I want to tell you that the victory that we got from Wuhan is the result of unity of the society. And in the process of teamwork, that we learn how to dedicate, we learn how to grow stronger. So that is the story that I want to share with you. Thank you very much. Good morning. I'm a doctor from the People's Hospital. My name is Ma Rui, and it's a great privilege for me to stand here, and I want to share with you some of my observations. On April the 1st, I met a patient in Tianjin railway station, and I immediately rushed to the site, and I had a quick diagnosis of his symptoms, and I thought that he was dying from this heart disease. And then we worked together with another passenger there, and we recovered his breath. And at a time when we were not having equipment, and we offered first aid to the patients, and after 20 minutes the ambulance came, and the cardiograph of the patient became stable, and the patient was transferred to a local hospital for continuous recovery. And after that incident, I self-isolated myself. Russell, the British philosopher, once said that there are three very pure and strong sentiments that has been supporting my life: the desire for love and knowledge, and the sympathy that you have for life. As a doctor, I have the sympathy for life, and I have been in this profession for 17 years, and it's a great portion of my career and my life. And my daughter, who is 5 years old, he is playing with this baby doll and playing the role as the doctor, and while laughing her being naive and being true as the child, I always have some reflections of my own career, and sometimes I think that I do not deserve those accolades. And I believe that the successful rescue for the patients at the Tianjin railway station is not just the result of my own efforts, and of course it was a result of my skills and also the help of other people. And I have learned skills and responsibilities here, and for many years the teachers, they have given us this spirit of being calm and this bravery which is needed by all the doctors. And I had a lot of worries about these patients, and then I was called by this young man, and he said that, can I call you sister? And I said, of course. He was discharged from the hospital, and he had a lot of optimism for life, and his mother cried on the other side of the phone, and I just wished the very best of them, so that he could just become, as President Xi Jinping called for, a young man with responsibility and with dedication and with spirit. After the epidemic broke out, one of the teachers from the PKU said that there is battlefield everywhere in the country, and the battlefield does not exist just at the front line, and it exists everywhere, in the hospitals, on the streets. So we as doctors, we have to always remember where we started and why we started, and this is the spirit and faith of all the people at PKU. Their words brought me to the memory I had fighting at the front line. My name is Dong Yanhui, and I was a volunteer at the China CDC, and one of the members fighting the COVID-19 at the front line. I saw how important responsibility is, and when the epidemic came, when I learned that the CDC of China needed some volunteers, and then I saw a lot of us volunteered, and at the second day of the first month on China's lunar calendar, 11 of the volunteers, we went to the CDC, and we were helping the China CDC to collate and compile those data. And at the very beginning, I had some worries because this would disrupt my personal agenda and schedule. And by seeing those numbers of infections growing, I forgot myself. And my teacher encouraged me to get concentrated on a job of the voluntary post. And so that is why I spend all those hours in a day, and in the evening, I just take my courses and write my PhD paper. So in order to provide the most reliable data to experts each and every day at 7 o'clock in the morning, we have to summarize all the data from across the country. So we put our skills to test. We had a lot of difficulties, and we were understaffed, but we improved the efficiency by 70 and 80%. And these procedures that the volunteers from PKU came up have saved a lot of lives. And we were there 24/7 for 90 days. And we have analyzed a lot of data and graphs and figures. That is the memory that we got from the COVID-19. And we did not breathe the fresh air for a lot of days. We did not get ourselves exposed to the breezes of spring, but in our hearts we just feel very warm. And a lot of the volunteers take the post in hospitals to fight against hospital-affiliated infections. A lot of the volunteers put their skills at places where the skills are needed the most. And we have left a dent in this great journey. I also want to say a few words to our faculty members who have participated in the World Health Assembly, and Professor Li Liming and Meng Qinyu and Liu Mingjue, and those four professors, the representatives of China's National Health Commission, and they have contributed the wisdom from PKU, and a lot of the guidelines for treatment protocols were contributed by the wisdom of our staff, our colleagues. And we popularized knowledge on sanitation and disinfection, and each and every one of us worked very hard. And my supervisor Ma Jun, participated in the formulation of school reopening guideline, and my classmates and a lot of them, they worked and studied at home in front of a computer screen. And after completing the voluntary days and returning to campus, I always ask myself, what is the thing that has inspired all of us to fight on the front line? I think this is the spirit from our tradition. It is the spirit that we inherited from the previous generation. And dear students, after today, we are going to officially set our foot on a society, and I think we will be accompanied by the birds' tweets and by the instructions of our teachers from the campus. And we are leaving this campus with a great spirit. And President Xi Jinping, in his letter, encouraged all the young people to demonstrate their skills and talents under the Communist Party flag. And it is with this spirit that we will always remember where we started. We will be health practitioners going forward on this great journey of rejuvenation. Thank you very much, Tao Jie, Ma Rui, and Dong Yanhui, and thank you to all the four speakers, and thank you to all those volunteers and doctors who defied the challenge, and thank you for your responsibility, for your skills, and for your talents, and for your persistence. Right now, as we speak here today, a lot of our classmates and friends are still fighting at the front line, and let's applaud their spirit. For PKUHSC, we carry forward this responsibility, and for 100 years, we have never retreated from our responsibilities. And all the students, when you came to this campus, you were immersing in this responsibility, and I hope that you can just pass this spirit forward. Now I will give the floor to Executive Vice President and Zhang Xinmin, who is also the director of the PKUHSC, to say a few words. Dear teachers, dear parents, students, good morning. How time flies. Now we are gathered at the graduation ceremony. 2094 graduates will open a new chapter after today. At this moment of great joy and excitement, and I would like to, on behalf of all the faculty members of PKUHSC, extend a sincere congratulations to all of you. I would also like to express a sincere gratitude to all the teaching faculties of PKUHSC, and my thanks also go to all the parents and all the supporters, all the supports that we receive from different walks of life. For years, you have been motivated by this great spirit of dedication, and it is here that you met your friends and classmates, and you have been trained by the teachers. It is here that you challenged yourselves and improved your talents and skills. And now, driven by the spirit of responsibility, you are ready to start your own career of medical research and popularization of medical knowledge. It's from here you're going to set on a new journey and build your own future. The year 2020 is extraordinary. At the beginning of the year, China was hit by a coronavirus pandemic. We had the longest winter holiday ever, but we didn't rest during the holiday, and all the volunteers and a lot of us took the front line in a battle, and we were recognized by leaders of the national government and the party, and because this represents the spirit that we have. At the most crucial time, President Xi Jinping wrote 2 letters to PKU students, and this represents his recognition to the spirit of young party members of PKU, and also the medical students from our campus, and driven and inspired by this encouragement, we engaged in a battle against COVID-19. We took the front line in Wuhan. We put aside our courses and academic tasks. A lot of us volunteered when the epidemic broke out, and a lot of us are working and taking different posts. Some are analyzing data, some are wearing PPEs and treating our patients at the front line. The great performance that you have demonstrated is a evidence of this great spirit of our university. So we feel more than proud of all of you. So at this moment of waving goodbye, let me give you a couple of suggestions. First, carry forward this spirit of dedication and responsibility. We have in this country a long tradition of helping one another. As doctors, we must embrace this spirit. Second, I hope you can pick up this integrity of good values. In this year's battle against COVID-19, a lot of us forgot our own safety and rushed to the front line in Wuhan and in Hubei. We have Zhong Nanshan, who is a old alumnus from PKU, and he's fighting as a senior doctor at the age of 84. And we also have Professor Li Liuyi, who is a expert in HAI, hospital-affiliated infections, and he helped those hospitals build a strong defense line against the COVID-19. We also have researchers making great scientific endeavors in the development of vaccines, and we also have the young party members who were born after the 1990s. Those are successful and exemplary representatives of this generation, and they have answered the call from the country, and they took the front line when there is a need. Their students' medical skills and this integrity and responsibility that we hold are equally important. I hope that you can learn how to become a doctor and how to become a good person. My other suggestion is that to have big dreams and ambitions. Dear students, from the very first day of establishment, we have embraced this great principle of alleviating pains and illness. Wu Lianzhe, who is a father of modern medicine, embraced this spirit, and we have a lot of great founders and forefathers who have demonstrated how we can change the world. And we also have Tu Youyou, who is a Nobel Prize laureate, and she's also a alumnus from the PKU. Dear students, we have witnessed their courage and their persistence and their spirit, and they have combined their personal career with the needs of the country. China at present is witnessing a period of rapid development of medicine and health. The great prospect of Healthy China initiative is a bright one, but we must also be mindful that the challenges we face are enormous and arduous. So we are leaving campus at this great time of history, and I hope that you can integrate your personal skills and talents in a great journey of this country. Next, never stop learning and be inclusive. The mountains become great because it never turns away small rocks. The ocean becomes big because it never turns away small drips of water. We have to engage in lifelong learning. In this time of unprecedented changes of the world and in front of the challenges and uncertainties in the fields of medicine, we have to engage in lifelong learning. And the great journey of China's fight against COVID-19 is a good case in point. And we have new technologies such as robots, 5G, artificial intelligence. We have to research into how these technologies can be applied in reality. And this is the trend of our time. I hope that you can keep up with the pace of the world so that you can cultivate systematic and comprehensive thinking. And I hope that you can engage in interdisciplinary research and thinking and solve the challenges and difficulties of the medical world at present. At this moment, when you leave the campus, I wish the very best of all of you. I hope each and every one of you can succeed in your endeavors and write your own chapter. Thank you. Dear students, most of our classmates cannot be with us on site, and I see a lot of the viewers are watching online, and you are scattered across the world, and you are at different places of the country. So this is a moment of silence. This is a moment of missing the PKU, and it is because of that that I have written a song. And yesterday the song was released at NetEase Music Cloud, and you can download this song. And now I will give you another song, and I will play the MV, and you can take a look at this video clip, and you can have some reflection of how this video clip is related to the journey that we have walked.
踏上一条新的长征路，用青春书写奋斗风采。圆梦新一代，创造梦想的期待，牢记深情，身心的嘱托，砥砺前行，初心不改，我们更懂得家国情怀。怀自信，期待和梦约定未来，踏上一条新的长征路，用青春书写奋斗风采。圆梦新一代，创造意外的未来，坚定信仰，信仰与期待，祖国人民最需要的地方，就是青春绽放的舞台。圆梦新一代，创造梦想的精彩，牢记深情，牢记深情的嘱托，砥砺前行，初心不改，我们更懂得家国情怀。圆梦新一代，未来为我们而来，牢记深情，牢记深情的嘱托，祖国人民 春绽放的舞台。愿梦醒一代。
2020年上半年最幸福的事情，莫过于能在校园里走两步。
In the first half of
站校长优美的歌
2020,
声，
the happiest moment
可以
is
给
that
不
when
能
you
回校的
can
学
take a
生一
walk
点点
in a
校园的
campus
印象、回
and
忆和
the
今后的梦
songs
想。
written
非
by
常感谢站
Vice
校长，
President
谢谢站校长优美的
PKU
歌声。
of
愿同学
PKU
们
can
吸取
help
此
us
时心，
remember what it's
乘
like
风
to
破
take a
浪，
walk
砥
in
砺
a
前
campus.
行，
And I hope
在
that
党和
each
人
and
民
every
最
one of
需
you
要的
can be
地方，
inspired
绽
and
放最绚丽的
you can continue to dedicate yourselves to the party and to the nation when your skills are needed the most. And dear students, from today on, you will be setting your foot on the society. You will be taking different posts in the field of medicine. And so starting from today, you are going to take a new post, but let us always remember the mottos of PKUHSC. And now let's invite Xu Shandong, Executive Vice Dean of HSC, and Wang Chao and the representative graduates to come onto the stage and to lead the reading of the vows. Please raise your right hand and read after me. Health is our mission. When I set foot on the campus of this great school and university, I have made the vows to dedicate myself to the country and to the people. I will hold firm to the integrities and values of doctors and engage in lifelong learning. I will remain persistent and challenge myself to the utmost. I'm determined to push myself to the extreme to alleviate the pains of the people, so that I can safeguard the image of all the medical practitioners. I will save people from the pains and diseases that they suffer and fight for a lifetime for the health cause of this great nation. Now let's sing once again the anthem of our medical department.
北京大学医学部2020年毕业典礼到此结束。
Now let's conclude the 2020 graduation ceremony for the medical department of Peking University, and I wish all of you the best in your career and endeavors. Thank you.
“各位老师们、同学们，大家好！各位正在看直播的师兄师姐、师弟师妹，然后以及同届的同学们，大家好！我是来自北京大学第3医院临床医学8年制的毕业生，我叫赵建芳。那今天之所以我现在站在这里跟大家聊天，是因为我确实身份比较特殊嘛，我其实已经在北医待了12年了。那至于为什么待了12年之后慢慢跟大家聊，那我这段时间就带大家重新回顾一下北医，回顾一下跟北医这么多年的情怀和记忆。那我现在所在的位置是我们的北医的主干道，然后这边操场上刚刚结束了毕业典礼的直播。然后北医的主干道其实就像北大的三角地一样，它是一个平时是非常热闹的地方。那远处那边新的体育馆，然后已经盖成了。然后这边乐进厅，其实在我刚来北医的时候，这些都是没有的，都是后来才慢慢在建成的。那个时候这边的5号楼还是最新的一个宿舍楼，然后旁边有一个小超市，是整个学校唯一的超市。那也可以说就是在北医的这些年，因为待的时间很久，所以也确实经历了一些比较重大的时间节点，比如说北大的双甲子的校庆，北医的100年校庆。可以说也是很幸运吧，就是北医见证了我的成长，那我其实也见证了北医的一个发展的一个变化。那之所以为什么会在北医待了12年，是因为
So why I stayed 12 years in the PKUHSC? And because I have to spend 8 years for the undergraduate and postgraduate years, and then after that I took a PhD program in overseas university, so that's 8 years plus 5 years, and so it's the whole learning career of my time at the PKU. And in the past, it used to be packed with people, but this year, because of the pandemic, our classmates, they couldn't return to the campus, and so we were supposed to wear our uniforms for graduation, for the graduation ceremony, and take a lot of photos together. But this year, we couldn't make it. And as was said at the graduation ceremony, they welcome us to go back at any time in the future. So this is the apartment building for the overseas students. When I was at the postgraduate years, we changed our dormitory a couple of times, and at that time, we just come down the building and have some chat, and it's a lot of memories. And this building in front of us is for the School of medicine and chemistry. We used to take some courses here. Right over there, it's the North Gate. And we had one preliminary course here, which was taken at PKU, and it's a long distance, and we would get off at the bus station on the North 4th Ring and took a bus here. So I like this campus, and it's very small. So you are familiar with every part of this campus, and you don't feel this noise and bustle of the city. And this red-colored building is the Yifu building, and the Yifu building has embodied most of the memories of all the students here, because from the very first day when you come here, when you sign up to the courses here, and when you take classes here, you know, it's all those memories are from here. And it's people say that at every medical school there is an Yifu building. So thank you very much to Shao Yifu for the contribution to the medical work of the country. And there is a Xerox workshop at the building, and the workshop is owned by a boss for 12 years, and I got to know him for many years. And so after returning from Vancouver, it was roughly 9 years after I came to the campus, and I came to the workshop, and the owner asked me, why you haven't graduated? You know, a lot of people ask me why you still haven't graduated, because I truly stayed 8 years here and 4 years in Vancouver, and you know, it takes a lot of time to train a medical student. And this is the library. There is a lot of books here, and it's a very good environment. And sometimes when we have no courses, we would simply lend a book, borrow a book from the library. And now let's take a walk at the Central Garden. So few people come here because most of the students would commute between the dormitory building and the teaching building. The Central Garden was supplemented to the campus later. At the Central Garden, we had a lot of memories, chatting and walking. And at the undergraduate years, I learned how to play guitar here. And of course, it's a place for people to date. And at the medical school, you may think that it's very boring, you know, spending this many years on a campus, but it's actually not. You know, it's a very colorful life. This is the building of anatomy. Talking about this subject, there is a lot of curiosities, and this is like a place of mystery. And there is a lot of discussions, and because this is the building of anatomy. The first memory is teacher Zhang Shaoguang. When I took the first course of anatomy, and he still had this black hair, and but I saw him a couple of weeks ago. He had all those gray hairs, but he still feels very energetic. So I think, you know, the color change of his hair tells you how many years I have stayed in the campus. And so I like his courses, and I've developed an interest in this subject. And I also want to mention teacher Dati, and he's a person that a lot of us had a lot of respect and gratitude, because without his instructions, a lot of us wouldn't get to know the structures of the body, and we wouldn't learn so much knowledge. And another teacher, he is to be memorized by all of us, because he's to be remembered by all of us, because he has dedicated his body to the medical field. And that is why each year at the Tomb Sweeping Day, we would organize a couple of classmates to pay respect for this great figure. At the undergraduate years, I borrowed a costume, and I took a couple of photos here. It was not for graduation. I just took some photos here. And this is a new pavement, and not everyone would come here, and maybe those clinical department students may come here when they take their courses. And I had some memories here as well. Because I got a PhD in pathology from Vancouver, and at the very beginning, there were not so many students taking the courses of pathology, and so I approached to a teacher, Mr. Zhang, and I told him that I want to pick up some knowledge in pathological study and research, and I read a lot of literature from the very beginning. And over the course of studying, I have realized that as a student majoring clinics, we don't spend sufficient time in scientific research, and this is a gap actually, because no matter how well you do in other subjects, and without research, you just still carry this gap. And that's why I registered for a program of studying overseas, and this is MD plus PhD program. I got my research training at the university in Vancouver. At the very beginning, I didn't know anything, and I gradually picked up the knowledge, and we did a lot of experiments on animals, and we picked up a lot of pathological researches, and also trained my medical thinking. And now, in retrospect, this is truly a very important period of time, because you do not do anything other than engaging in research and study. And although I may pick up a different profession after leaving the campus, but this will become unforgettable no matter what. And now let me tell you why I like this program. And a lot of you may take an interest in this subject, because when you set your foot on this campus, you may spend 8 years here, and you may even spend maybe 12 years here, and you face a lot of clinic pressure. A lot of the times you just lock yourselves in a campus, and you don't turn your eyes to the world. But let me tell you that you have to read a lot of books, but also travel to a lot of places. And I think it's very important that you open your eyes to a larger world, and this will help you to gain a better understanding of your career, of the world as well.